Hey Stampers. Alright, this is like my first official video, so there's no guarantees. I'm just using my camera, so I'm not sure how good this is going to be, but we'll give it a shot. So, first I'm going to show you what we're going to use is this new Sizzix. I love these sets. They're becoming really, really popular where you get the framelet, the dies, along with the matching stamps. Love it, love it, love it. So I'm going to use this one today. It's called Autumn Owls, and this one is by Sizzix. It's a Stephanie Barnard from Stamps of Life. She's the one who did the design for this one. Tons of them out there, and I own several of them, and probably will end up doing a review and stuff of them because they're really great. So I'm going to use these today. Doing a really simple card today since this is my first video, and I can't even get the package open. So I have used it before, but I like to keep everything back in the package so when I do something for my blog, I can remember who it's by. So I'm going to use 3 of the dies, and I'm going to use my Big Shot here in a little bit to work with these. But first, we're going to start. Let me pull these off. I also love the new clear stamps. I couldn't stand the old clear stamps, those first that came out years ago, and they were mushy. You got a horrible image. They were terrible. These new clear stamps are so much better. They give you a good crisp image. They don't flatten and mush out. The ink doesn't beat up on them. They're awesome. And the best ones are the ones that are made with photopolymer. Those are actually the very best ones to get. And they're awesome. Okay, so I'm going to use an assortment of stuff from various vendors. One of my favorite cardstocks for a base is Stampin' Up. They have just a really nice thickness to them. I'm currently looking, I've heard Basil paper, so I'll be trying some of theirs to find some additional cardstock that's as thick that I like for the base card. This is the card that we're going to make here. It's just Happy Day. It's just a very simple, easy birthday card. Since it just says Happy Day, you could actually do it for any kind of sentiment, but I recently took a patterned paper class from Online Card Classes with Jennifer McGuire and Kristen Werner. Fabulous classes. You guys need to check those out. And so I've started stamping on my patterned paper more than I used to because you forget about it. You think, oh, it's patterned paper. It's just for the background. Not so. The pattern paper that I'm going to use for the owl, I can't remember the vendor, but it came in a Simon Says Stamp card kit. I believe it was their March card kit, which was a really great kit. I'll be doing some blogs on that as well because there's some fabulous kits out there. But this is a paper from, like I said, the Simon Says Stamp card kit from a month or so ago. I used to just use Stampin' Up inks. I'm finding all kinds of new inks. I am loving the Hero Arts Shadow inks. The 2 that I'm using today are Cup of Joe, a mid-tone, and the Pale Tomato, which is a mid-tone as well. And we'll go into, not this time, but I'll be doing a video series on the different types of ink and what's the difference between a mid-tone ink and a shadow ink, and because you can see these are Hero Arts Shadow ink, but this is a mid-tone, and that just means it's going to be a little more darker, a little more vibrant. So I've cut my base paper at 4 1/4 by 11, and still ends up being the standard size of a card that we card makers make. I personally love the bone folder. I know a lot of people say, oh, just use your fingernail, but I love the bone folder, especially because if I want to get those even on the ends, I hold it and push it this way. When you push it that way, then it ensures that it's all going to be even. So I do like that. So I'm going to turn my card sideways. So the first thing I'm going to do is emboss this. I don't know if it showed up very good in the picture, but the background was clouds. It's an embossing folder by Stampin' Up, and it's little clouds. So I'm gonna, probably not in camera, but my big shot is out over here, so I'm gonna use that. I also have the little Texture Boutique, the little embosser that looks like a purse. Love that. So you guys probably know how to use the big shot, so I'm just going to run it through really quick and get that background embossed. Move that out of the way, and voila. I love these clouds. So, simple enough. Now I'm going to take my patterned paper and my Cup of Joe mid-tone Hero Arts ink, stamp up my owl, and just stamp it onto the patterned paper. I mean, and look how cute that is. So instead of just stamping it with a colored ink on white paper, you've got this really great design. I think it's a great idea to use patterned paper to stamp on. So, I'm going to make my sandwich for my big shot to cut it out. You can see my cutting boards have been used a lot. I'm looking for a tab that I just pulled off. Hopefully I'll learn how to edit, and maybe you guys won't see that, so we'll see. I used to use Post-it notes, but now the washi tape, works great. So whenever you stamp an image and you want to use a die cut to cut that image, it can easily, especially the smaller the image, move when you're using it on the big shot. So I use washi tape. It's comes off real easy. Just take a little bit and line it up the way I want it. And sometimes, depending on the intricacy, I may put one on both ends, but I'm just going to stick it there for now. Put it through my big shot. That probably isn't even in focus. And now you can see I can just pop him out, and I have that adorable owl. The owls are really popular right now. You can see how easy that washi tape comes off. I'm going to stick it over here and reuse it when I do the smaller owl here in a minute. Well, I may as well do it now. So, my smaller owl I did not do on patterned paper. I just used cute little owl stamp from the set. And you know what the best thing is about paper? It has two sides. So this, I was trying something. This is scrap paper. I'm flipping it over, and I'm going to use the other side. No one will ever know. Well, they will now because I told you. So I'm going to stamp my owl up really good in my pale tomato Hero Arts ink. And I have him on there backwards. I thought that looked really, really dark. Okay, so if you put your ink pad on your stamp backwards, you will get a solid image of nothing, which is what we just got. So, let's try this again. Alright. Take two. And stamp him down, and that's what he's supposed to look like. Now, I don't know if it's showing up on the camera. When you first stamp with these Hero Arts shadow inks, you may say, ooh, that's blotchy, or oh, that's not covering good. When you first stamp it, it may give that image, but in a few minutes it kind of goes through the paper and is just really nice, sharp, and crisp. They're really great inks that I have recently discovered. I guess a lot of you already knew about them, but I didn't. So, because I was just Miss Stampin' Up, but I am going venturing out. I've got some new vendors that I just love. So I'm trying a bunch of new products. So now I'm going to use that piece of washi tape, reuse it, stick my little guy down. I'm not going to bother to move my big shot this time. Just going to run it through. And we have our little owl. Okay, easy enough. I already cut out, it's from a My Mind's Eye 12 by 12 scrapbook paper, kind of had a wood look, wood color to it. So I did use the wood. There is a stamp for the branches. I could have used a stamp, but I didn't want to stamp it. I wanted to use paper, so I just stamped it on some paper that kind of gave me that little wood look. I've already pre-cut it, but this is ruffled ribbon from Stampin' Up! That matches my card base, the pool party. So I'm going to put that on really quick. If I can find some Scotch tape. I used to be really big into tying knots and stuff, and I'm just not into it right now. I cut that way too long. I need to be better at not wasting stuff. I am too wasteful. Like, I definitely cut this since I was just going to tape it down on each side. You can see I cut way too much. That's okay. I'll do better next time. Just going to tape that down and use my tape runner. I've known people who are like, oh, just use a little bit, it only takes a little bit. I am like a tape abuser. I massively tape everything. I want it to stay. So I go a little tape overboard. This white piece was cut, should have told you that earlier. The white piece was cut at 5 1/4 by 4. It's our standard kind of, I think, a standard when you want to layer and just have a little frame looking is about 1/4 inch off of each side. So, you know, our regular base here, the pool party was 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. So my white, then to get that background, I've got at 5 1/4 by 4 and just shaved 1/4 inch off of each one. Now, I mean, in a matter of seconds, we'll have it put together. I'm gonna just put pop-ups. I have all kinds of them. I'm using the ones from Stampin' Up! They call theirs dimensionals, but you can just use the pop-up tape that you have. I've got to cut some kind of small for that branch. That one's a little big, but I'm going to go ahead and use it, fix it later. I typically use pretty thick cardstock. This particular piece from My Mind's Eye is just one-sided. It's from a thinner tablet they have. So definitely want to put enough little pop-up dimensionals to hold all the branches and everything up. I can see that that one's over, but we're going to ignore that for now. So just going to put that on there. Take Mr. Owl, plop some on him. I'm very technical. We plop. And again, kind of like my tape runner, I use lots of everything. So stores like me because I use a lot of stuff. And I'm running out of dimensionals, so, well, I have tons, but I mean sitting out here. Let's see. You may not even get to see this video since it's my first one and I'm learning. Didn't have everything out. So here's my owl for my little baby guy. Plop him on there. And normally I would, a lot of times I'll use a stamp and a die cut or something for the sentiment to be way up, raised as well. This one I'm going simple and using a jelly bean soup banner, soup label, they call them soup labels. And I'm going to stick, my happy day was over here on the other one, but now I'm going to have to scoot it over because I kind of raised my owl and stuff isn't as low on this card, so I scooted it over. I think I prefer it over to the right on the card that I made to figure out what I was going to do today. So when I'm talking, not paying attention, you can see that my wood piece isn't as low as I would have liked to have had it, like this one. But here's our card. Very simple. I think it's great to have on hand some stuff like this jelly bean soup, the labels and things, because sometimes you just need to make a quick card and you don't have time to do all the fancy things that you know. So this I think is very cute, quick. I love how this one looks like pattern paper, but we just stamped it, and then of course this one is stamped on the pattern paper. So if you have any questions, leave me a comment, and I hope you enjoyed my very first video. Thank you.